Did you know that your creativity is a divinely crafted weapon in the hands of God? I'm going to tell you why today here on 5 Minute Mentoring. Hey, my friend, so glad you're with me today here on another episode of 5 Minute Mentoring. You know, it's really easy as a creative person to sort of downplay the role of our creativity and our art in the world. I mean, my gosh, when you think about all the crazy things, wars and politics and poverty and hunger and world peace and all the stuff that's going on in the world, you think, what does being an artist have to do with that? Why would God use artists? But you know what? The Bible is so clear. God uses the foolish things to confound the wise. He uses methodologies and people and techniques and ways of doing things that really don't make sense to the world in order to really sneak up on them, in order to take people off guard, in order to be able to touch people's heart and mind in a way that's so beautifully unique and bypasses the normal sort of boundaries and barriers that people have. And because of that, your art and my art and our creative expression actually becomes a weapon in the hands of God. We maybe say, well, how does that even work? Well, listen, when you are inviting the Holy Spirit into your creative process and you're submitted your life to Him, you're creating with the Holy Spirit, not just for God as some sort of religious obligation, all of a sudden you're offering your creative expression to the Lord. You're saying, God, come and live and move and have your being, not only in my life, but in and through the work that I create. And whether that's a poem or a book or a painting or a piece of pottery or jewelry or fiber art or sculpture or whatever it might be, God comes and moves not only in you and through you as you're making that piece, but I believe that the Holy Spirit continues to brood and move over and in the beautiful things and experiences and opportunities that we create, the objects that we create, the songs and the words that we write, so that they don't just experience, we just don't experience the transformative power of God as we make it, but that transformative power of God lives and travels with those pieces and those pieces of creative expression for years and years and years to come. You say, well, man, how does that even work? Well, listen, when you invite the Holy Spirit into your creative process as an image bearer of God, you become one who reflects and reveals His image in and through what you do. You get to be a part of releasing His light and His life through your creative expression. And listen, when the nature of God shows up on the scene, things get transformed, lives get transformed. And I believe, I've just seen it so many times. How many of you've read a book that's 100 years old and all of a sudden transformation happens in your life? You've read the Bible that was, written 2,000 years ago, and you get transformation. Why? Because the Holy Spirit is still moving on those words, even though they were written 2,000 years ago. Same thing when you see a powerful painting or you hear a song. There's a moment of transformation that can happen. Listen, and your creative expression becomes a weapon. Why? Because in the face of depression, in the face of difficulty, in the face of everything that wants to bring chaos and confusion and defilement and deflation in the lives of people, our creative process and our creative expression becomes a weapon against those things. In the face of somebody walking in depression, when they hear your song, when they read your book, when they read your poetry, when they see the dance, when they see the painting, when they see the sculpture, when they interact in the space that you've created, all of a sudden that creative expression becomes a weapon in the hands of God. God's using that creative expression as much as He would use a sermon, as much as He would use a prayer or a church service. God is using your creative expression to combat the work of the enemy in the life of somebody else. And listen, my friend, that is a holy responsibility. It is a holy vocation, and it's one worth pursuing and taking seriously. Listen, my friend, if you've been downplaying your role in the kingdom, you've been downplaying your role in culture, you've been downplaying even starting a business and really taking your art to the next level. Listen, don't do that. Don't do that. Take it seriously. Give your calling as an artist the attention that it deserves. Somebody's life may depend on it. Somebody's experience with the Lord may be hinging on whether you create that piece of art or not, whether you step out and be the person that God's created you to be or not. You may just be the pivotal intersection point in somebody's life that will lead them to the Lord, that will allow them to have an encounter with Him, a healing encounter, a transformative encounter like they've never known before. Don't take your calling as an artist lightly. Your weapon is creativity. Your weapon is your paintbrush. Your weapon is your word. And as you yield that to the Lord and wield it in the world, God's going to use you in powerful ways. I love you, my friend. I'm so glad you're with me on this journey. Remember, till next time, you were created to thrive. Bye.